in the middle of a live stream. We gotta talk about Batwoman today. Hello everyone, I am still like a random 42, the one, the only, the original, your favorite YouTube Harpy. We are talking about probably my most watched series this year, my least hated of the bad shows I'm watching, Batwoman. Oh yeah, the Batwomans. And, well, their viewership is plunging yet again, even though they will come back for another season, because let's face it, they're the second highest rated show on the CW. What else do they got? They're gonna come back for another. We know this. We know. I've made countless videos on this. I forgot the show was still on the air, though, to be perfectly honest. Like I said, it's the best of the bad shows I'm watching, but you've got to remember, I'm also watching Star Trek Picard and Doctor Who. Yeah, all of the bad shows this year. This was the best of them, but their viewership is plunging, and the latest episode posts worst viewership numbers for the entire season. Well, that's possibly because I didn't even realize that the show is still on. You would think that since everybody's at home with nothing to do, they would be home watching Batwoman. I don't know, well, maybe if it looked a little bit more like this every single episode. Then maybe people would like it a little more. I don't know. My problem with the show, like I say pretty much in every review, is that it has anything to do with Batman. I'm tired of the character Batman. I really am. And I'm tired of these female versions, diverse versions, you know the type. The Wokemon versions. Of these characters. And that's all this is. This is just a Wokemon version of Batman. With a vajayjay instead of a you-know-what, instead of kibbles and bits, I suppose. And that's the problem, really. It's not anything to do with Batman. The show is so much more interesting when it is a show that is a drama about the sisters and the family dynamic. That is the only appeal to this. And that is the only thing worth watching in this series, in my opinion. Keep anything Gotham-related, Batman-related, just out of it, and then it's a little bit more appealing. But like I said, this is a show on the CW for a certain demographic of people who don't really like superheroes, probably, anyway. So that's probably why they do it. Chef Carolyn, thank you so much, $10 super chat. Really appreciate it. Just because I want to see some jiggles. Well, there you go. There you go. That is a rule on my channel if you're here during a live stream. We have the jiggle cam just for that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And before you guys get all upset, that's a woman who just super chatted for the jiggles specifically. So, CW Batwoman. I totally forgot this was even on the air. Really. I tuned out. I tried to catch up. I watched an episode a couple weeks ago. I never recorded a review of it. It's alright. It's not the best thing. It's certainly not the worst thing I'm watching. It's not really worthy of all the negative backlash it's getting, I don't think. Just because it's kind of bland. It isn't really anything super offensive. Once in a while you'll have a line like, I need to make sure I'm okay and represented with my life. No, you don't. You really don't. You don't need to have some fictional character, some superhero to tell you it's okay to be you. You really don't. We need to kind of instill the confidence in people at a younger age that, you know what, if you go a certain way, it doesn't affect my interaction with you unless I'm in bed with you and I need to know whether to lick or suck. That's all it really is. Other than that, what kind of a person are you? Are you a decent human being? Do you take care of your family? Do you go to school? What do you do for a living? What kind of pets do you have? That's the least interesting thing about... Sorry. It's the least interesting thing about you. And we need to be a little bit more confident as a society where we're just okay with that, where we don't have to keep labeling and separating and putting everybody in boxes to say, well, I'm a this in this alphabet and I'm a this in this, gender profile, whatever. Who cares? Nobody cares anymore. Arrow My Show, I love your voice. Thank you. And I saw that you said earlier you didn't realize I was live. I am live. I do clip a lot of these, though. I do clip a lot of these for later. Like this one. I'll probably be editing this out. Who gives a F about Batwoman? I kind of do. Like, I don't care about the character. But here's the thing. I kind of enjoy the dumpster fire. I enjoy the spectacle. I enjoy the train wreck. I enjoy a good dog pile sometimes, I suppose. I mean, I'm not above it. The CW's Batwoman series, starring Ruby Rose, posted its worst viewership numbers in its debut season. With this latest episode, A Narrow Escape, according to the TV series finale, Batwoman's A Narrow Escape was only viewed by 634,000 people and posted a 0.20 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. That's not very good. See, those are similar. Those are actually higher than numbers of Doctor Who. When I was doing Doctor Who ratings, we would get numbers in the 400,000s. So more people are watching Batwoman than Doctor Who. I can imagine why, I guess. Well, it's also a little easier to get. You can just go onto their site and watch it a day after. That's how I was watching it. That's why I was watching it, because I don't like to deal with streaming services. Just give me a link and let me click it and let me watch it whenever. Don't care. That's the worst viewership the show has had in its first season since it premiered on October 6, 2019. And that is hilarious. And you know why? Because with all of their marketing and they're baiting us to talk about this and they're trying to get as much viewership and attention as they can, because I'm convinced that's the only reason why they do this, is to bait people into, on one side, saying, hey, maybe Batman should be a little bit more respected, and maybe you shouldn't have Ruby Rose saying, oh, the Batsuit's great, now that if it's a woman. No. Don't do that. You need to have some respect for the character Batman, because you are, after all, stealing his house, identity, name, job, suit, everything about him, because you wouldn't have a show on your own. So you do have that, and you do have the NPCs sort of types who go out of the woodwork and say, you just don't like women, you just don't like elves. Really? I don't? I like them just fine. I just wish the show were a little bit more of that, and less, we need to disrespect the bat suit because it doesn't look good on a man and it was made for me. That's the only problem with this show, and you're trying too hard to connect to this whole comic book universe, which is a problem, I think. I think the show would be a lot better, like I said, if they just focused on, okay, here's a weird thing where we've got this over-the-top bad guy, and it works in the context of the comics, because, yeah, you're gonna have characters like Alice, who are basically Alice in Wonderland crossed with the Mad Hatter, crossed with every wackadoo out there. Sure, she's kind of almost a female Joker in some ways. Yeah, I get that. You're gonna be able to tell that story a little easier in a comic book universe and environment. But at the same time, nobody would give one crap about this if this wasn't a character that was attached to the Bat name. Greg Smith, MST3K should riff season 1 of Batwoman. They should. Oh, that's what I kind of do when I watch it. I'm just there adding lines. I almost wish I could do the live reactions more without getting in trouble with copyright. I would do that because I like sitting there and riffing it. I don't shut up when I'm watching these things. If I'm actually there paying attention, I am there adding in lines because it's fun. Shut the fuck up. Oh, come on, Admiral Hubris. Lighten up. And like I said, this is a lot more watchable than Picard or Discovery or any of the other things I'm watching lately. The last time the show had viewership below 700,000 was on January 26th with an unbirthday present. I think that's the one I watched last. That might be the last one I saw. The show has been on a relatively steady decline since it first aired. Its premiere episode was viewed by 1.86 million viewers, and it had the 18 to 49 demo rating of a 4.7. Thank you so much for subscribing. Also, if you guys do like the content, like, subscribe, share. That's the wrong button. We do the jiggle cam for the subscribers. Thank you so much. Also, shout out to Bounding Into Comics. Definitely check out their site and their channel. They do a lot of good work there. Related, Warner Brothers is using copyright claim trailers and videos critical of the show. Oh yeah, my Batwoman trailer reaction sitting at 140,000 views I have not made one penny on. Because I used just too much footage and I was a little too negative in my coverage of that. But hey, that's okay. That brought a lot of new viewers into the channel, so I'm not going to complain too much, and I did try and edit it out. But now it's too late because it's already 6 months later. A year later. It's a year later. It dropped 22% from episode 1 to 2. That's all we need to know. Obviously, people don't care about these shows. They tune in for the spectacle. They tune in to see if it's as bad as it says it is, or if it's really, really offensive. And what happens with all these shows is once you get the people who want to prove the angry YouTubers wrong, white male rage, white male rage, white male rage. Once you have those people who kind of go away and they stop watching it because the show's just kind of meh, then you see these giant dips in viewership. We see this all the time in these sort of things. Like I said, they did a lot of this. They marketed the show in a way that would get a lot of attention. And they're doing the same thing with The Last of Us. They're doing the same thing in all of these properties where you have a show that's really not that interesting. It's mediocre at best. It is just a continuation or a sequel or a reboot or a swapping or a Wokemon version of something else, because that's all everything is nowadays. It's just
Wokemon.
a Wokemon version to represent instead of to actually create or build anything interesting. And we know that that's what they do. So they use the YouTubers and the media to, and I use them right back. I use them to make a video and I get paid for it. Of course I do. And especially if I do them in a live stream, then I get paid twice for it. So hey, little secret there. If you do this, of course you're going to see a drop in viewership because people are just going to check it out at first because we saw this buzz and this hype around it because you had a big interest and a big spectacle. And if the show is good, it won't matter. But if the show is bad, you see the drop in the viewership. Now, if the show is really, really, really terrible, it would drop a lot faster. Like I said, the show's not really, really terrible. It's just kind of meh. It's kind of meh and boring. And of course, his article goes into basically the history of each drop and each decline. Wow, she looks like a video game character. I thought this was a video game cutscene. This doesn't even look like a real photograph right there. So if you do want to check out everything in this article, definitely do so. That's what I think about it. That's my interpretation. And I am going to go back to my live stream because that's really all I have to say about Batwoman. Also, Bat lesbians.